Yeah. What's up?
I know, right? Hey, everybody. Hey. Welcome. It is Wednesday night, and it is your favorite podcast, Power Team, and we are definitely in the building. Y'all got to excuse us because, we've been backstage chatting about some stuff, and you kind of already get a little bit excited when you know some of the topics that you're going to talk about. So we just kind of ready to dive into it. But if this is your first time rocking with us, we just want to say, thank y'all so much for choosing to rock with us because we already know you all could have been anywhere in the world, but you all decided to be right here with us. So for those of you guys who don't know who we are, we would like to personally go ahead and introduce ourselves. I go by the name of Kesha Kesh.
And this your boy, Dr. Real, Mr. Motivational. This is power. Let's go. Let's get it.
Let's go. Well, happy new year, everybody. Hopefully you guys been watching and taking a look at our updates because we have made some changes and some date changes to some of the times on the platform. Not only us, some of our other hosts as well. So make sure that you guys are always on the lookout for those flyers when you see them to announce when we're on. So myself and Dr. Real, we used to be on every Wednesday. We never skipped a Wednesday, y'all. Like if it was 5 Wednesdays, it was 4 Wednesdays, we was rocking. Now we're on every first and third Wednesday of the month. So continue to rock with us because y'all already know it's like family. It's like the family reunion. We miss y'all and we be ready to rock with y'all too. Yes. We got some good topics tonight, y'all. Some of them are like more leaning towards my fave, but then, some of them are just like, it's just what we do. We got to keep up with the up of what's going on, around the world. So we like to just sit back and chat with y'all so that we can just hear your, see what your thought process is like, or, just chat with us about it. We don't got to always agree, but we can always discuss and talk about it. So let's get into our first topic. What is our first topic tonight? This one we kind of talked about before, but it's been continuing to come up. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the actual just things going on in the world, online dating, so to speak. Just a lot of different things that may make people watch certain things about people. So the question is zodiac signs. Let's talk about zodiac signs. But the question is it a deal breaker for you? If you're meeting someone and you guys are, I don't know, you've noticed some things, could that be a deal breaker because they're reminding you of a certain zodiac sign? I always see a lot of guys say things like, you know what, they get upset saying grown people are blaming their actions on zodiac signs. I don't think that's really what it is, but I do think that zodiac signs are always a hot topic. So let's talk about it.
Well, for me,
what are your thoughts?
Some people do use that as an excuse, though, for their behavior.
What do you mean? Like, what do they say when you say they use it?
So, for example, I'm doing this because I'm a Gemini, so you got to watch how I move. And I'm like, okay, but that just because you're Gemini don't mean you have to act like you two damn people. Like, you ain't got to do that. Don't.
My daughter said those exact words to me today.
Or I'm a Taurus, so I'm naturally stubborn. Now I'm gonna say, for me, I have seen some traits of zodiac signs actually come to fruition. Like I'm a Leo, and but here's people understand there's more than one type of Leo. Most people think Leos are just the life of the party, always always on, and whatever. But for me, I'm an ambivert. I'm both.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an introvert
Mm-hmm.
and extrovert. It depends on my surroundings. You know what I'm saying? It depends
And
on who I'm with and who I'm around. But for us to
I
stay
think,
Leo,
mm-hmm,
um, I am I'm aggressive to a point. Just like a lion in the jungle. Most times you see
mm-hmm,
the male lion, they sitting down sleeping. You know what I'm
right,
saying? But when it's time to get busy, it's time to get busy. And they do, but it's the lion that's really in the jungle that's doing all the hunting and all the work. The male Leos
mm-hmm,
be fall back. And you see most Leos, that people think most Leos are self-centered. They think most Leos are conceited. They think most
mm-hmm,
Leos are a lot of Leos they think are narcissists. But you know
mm-hmm,
what I'm saying? A lot of Leos project confidence to a point because some of them are not confident. So they project
right,
confidence. You know what I'm saying? But
facts.
for me, Aries, I probably will, if me and my wife ever leave each other, I probably will never date another Aries in my life.
Really?
Ever again. And reason being, my mom's an
So,
Aries, my wife's an Aries, and Aries and Leo are this because they're both leaders and they're fire signs. Two fire signs do not mix. That's for sure. That is true. Two fire
that's
signs
true.
don't
It
mix.
can though, but you have a
You
lot
gotta
of
have
work to do to
balance though.
do
You gotta have
it.
balance. You gotta be able to balance it out. And most times you can't. But
Mm-hmm.
Aries and Geminis, I'm good. Unless now if I meet you, and I don't want to contradict myself here, but if I meet you and I don't want to just go off Gemini, I ain't gonna holler at you, or we ain't gonna talk. Because that's not fair. I need to know who you are at the core. But if you was in some of those Gemini signs that I don't rock with, can't do it.
But the thing about it is too, I think people, they don't like zodiac signs because they don't really know the knowledge behind it. But what you're saying is true when it comes to depending on that sign. Like for example, Leo, you are a fire sign. So it doesn't mean that you may not mix with, like say for example, I would think that it's a challenge for you to mix someone with the same month that you were born as a Leo in the same zodiac, because that's two fire signs. Now, what you're supposed to look at in a lot of those details are what feeds the sign. So for fire signs, air signs will feed the fire sign. So actually a Gemini is an air sign, but there's multiple air signs. So that's kind of like how you have to look at it. You can't just exit out, but a lot of people don't like to go that deep. Some people are on the cusp. You could be a Leo, but you're borderline something else, so it's a lot that goes along with it. But I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, so I'm gonna get my spiel on it. Like I don't like people to think just because like I like talking about the zodiac signs. If I find out that you are this sign, I'm not going to get to know who you are. Now, the benefit of it is I'm going to actually pay attention to what you're doing if you're reminding me of what I already know that this sign does, because it could be a good thing or a bad thing. That means I know how to address it, or I know not to overreact because I can say, well, that's your character. That's typical, because you have certain things that are deal breakers and certain things that are not. So if I can deal with that and I'm noticing that you're doing that, it wouldn't be a deal breaker for me just because you're doing it because of your zodiac. Now, you got some people that'll straight up run away. And they'll be like, no, you what sign? Oh, no, I don't do those. I'm not. And those are the people that I kind of wanted to hear from. Like, what makes you do that? Like, did you experience somebody that hurt you? Or are you really, is that what it is?
More likely that's what I'm saying. You contributing what happened in that relationship or that marriage or whatever it may be to that sign. And again, like you said, there's different variations to every sign. And then my problem with the
Mm-hmm.
sign thing is NASA just changed the whole thing and saying now the dates where the zodiac signs used to be are changed. Which I'm like, how? How, Sway? How you gonna change and make me a damn cancer? Nah, fam.
Mm-hmm.
Negative. I'm not a Cancer. I've been a Leo for 49 years. I'm not changing that. That's who I am to a core.
Yeah,
When you read the traits, I feel it in my heart. Some of that stuff about me, about Leos that I know I do, is true. We love hard, but when you screw us, man,
that's it.
woo, child, the comeback is we're overthinkers. Like, you cannot tell us some no BS. We're gonna take that thing, we're gonna get that chalkboard out, we're gonna let like that thing, like that beam that have all the numbers coming out the head. That's how we are. We're gonna sit down and break that thing down until it makes sense to us. And then we're gonna come back to you and present our findings. And we're gonna remember what you said in that last conversation. So if that stuff don't match, it's a wrap. That's Leo that I know for sure. Don't play them games. Don't tell the truth and point of line, because you can get caught up. We don't
right.
When they don't smell right, we don't feel right. We might not say nothing to you at the moment. We're gonna run out of head like, okay, yeah. In our mind, we're like,
and my advice would be to, like, you don't have to look at the zodiac sign and just X everybody out and make that a deal breaker. But there is nothing wrong with encouraging yourself to read and do a little bit more research before you make that decision, because there's a possibility that, you know, this person does deserve a chance. It doesn't mean that everybody acts the same. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that, because I have seen recently, especially with how the world is set up today with dating, online dating, I've seen a lot of people say, like, nah, if I find out that this person is this, that, I'm running, I'm going the other way.
See, that part right there to me is too much. It's almost like reading your horoscope and then it says, you know, don't go outside today, you stay in the household.
Right.
Or something happens coincidentally to what your horoscope said, and now you're just a diehard believer in that.
Right.
You know, come on, man. I mean, a damn wrong clock is right twice a day. So you can't go by just because something, you know, this coincidentally happened that matches what your horoscope said that day. That's crazy.
I agree. Good stuff. Good stuff. So again, if you guys go back, please still drop your comments, even if you go back to watch the replay. If you're not tuned in live right now, drop your comments. I'm very interested in knowing exactly your thought process when it comes to the zodiac. But moving on to our next topic, which is, when is it time to cut the cord? Now, is this like relationship stuff? Is it family stuff? Is it everyday life? When you say, when you guys hear when is it time to cut the cord, what do you guys think of?
When I brought this topic up, it's because I've been reading so many different social media sites and been in some discussions about when is it time to stop parenting your children when they're over 18. That's what I'm getting at. When is it time to let, and I'm talking about cutting the cord, I'm talking about cutting the figurative umbilical cord. When is it time to let them be an adult? And the first thing back on it is, the quote unquote black thing we do, which I really hate that saying, is that we kick our kids out of 18. That's some people. They ain't all black people. That's some people. And we're not the only culture that does that. Everybody like to bring in the Asian culture and the Hispanic culture where they let their kids stay till they graduate from college and blah blah blah. And that may be true from my experience. So my mom, when I turned into a senior, she told me she had a not a real time clock, but a figurative time clock. Like the countdown is on for you to move on and be a man. I'm like, damn, I just came to senior. Damn, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So she came from that school of thought that once you hit 18, you need to move on with your life. Now, I have my own kids now. I don't have that mindset. But what I do have is I don't care how, I ain't gonna say I don't care how long you be here. I want you to be here, but we need to have a plan in place. Because what you're not gonna do is sit here and, you know, I'm letting you stack your bread, but yet every day some damn Amazon packages coming to the door.
You know, did you hear my conversation today? Oh my God, let me make sure my daughter's tuned in.
You know, or you out here partying every weekend, and I'm not seeing you doing anything to prepare yourself to move on. Because if you're still living with me and I'm not asking you for anything, then you're still a dependent to me. Swear my light's gonna be higher because you ain't still in the house. You know what I'm saying? Then food bill, just all the necessities are going to be the same as was you still my dependent. I don't mind you being here to grow, but you can't be in here not growing. You got to have a plan.
Exactly.
We got to have a plan together. And if I do ask you for something, you don't know if I'm taking that money to actually pay bills or I'm actually stacking you a rainy day fund. So when you do move out, bam, here's your check for X amount of dollars. Because I knew from you watching you move in high school with your job, you're not a good person to save. So this is what I did. I asked you for $500 a month for a reason. I didn't tell you what I was doing with it, but I actually was putting it in an account. So when you did graduate from college, you did decide to move on with yourself. Here's a little nest egg for you to get started. But that all comes from what we do. We got to have ground rules. Like, okay, so they're 18 now. And my daughter, I love her to death. Me and her got into a drag out, not that arguing about this very thing. You're 18. Yes, our relationship is going to change to a certain extent. Well, she's 21 now, married, so it doesn't matter. But at the time, you're 18, you just graduated. Yes, things are different. I got to start looking at you now as an 18-year-old kid no more, but as an 18-year-old adult. But you can't sit here and jump in between being an 18-year-old kid and adult. You got to choose what side you're going to be on. Because you can't, I know age number the number, except when it comes to being responsible. Then well, I'm only 18, but you just said you're grown. So which game we playing? Because you got to choose a side. In society, 18, you're grown. You can sign contracts. You can get your own apartment. You can be in the military. You can vote. I feel like they wouldn't give you those privileges at 18 and then they feel you have some maturity. No one expecting you to be a 50-year-old maturity. But again, that doesn't matter. You can be 50 years old and be immature as an 18-year-old. Your age doesn't make your lifetime being on this earth doesn't matter about your maturity level. I've met some very mature 18-year-old people. You know what I'm saying? Wise beyond their years. You know what I'm saying? They probably had some trauma issues to be that way. They probably had to grow up before they needed to. But nevertheless, they're grown. But you got to have the parent and the child got to have a talk. Okay, you're going to stay here. So these are some things. You're 18. I can't put no curfew on you no more because you're, you know, so I'm going to treat you like you're an adult. But you also got to respect my house too. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're not paying no bills and you're not doing anything in the house, we got to have some kind of ground rules. If you smoke weed, I'm going to smoke weed in my house. If you drink underage, am I going to allow you to drink in my house? Are you going to be able to have sex in my house? I mean, these are things you're going to have to talk about because you're treating that 18-year-old as an adult. But this is when you need
to are an adult.
Yes, you need to have that conversation. Well, by law they are, right?
Yeah.
By law they are. But again, I know like if I see my kids struggle, like I like for all my children to have jobs in high school. And I ask them to do that so I can watch how they manage their money. I want to see what your thought process is. When you get paid, your first thought process is, let me go give Chick-fil-A half my check, and then I'm going to do the rest of it on Sheen. And then now I'm broke. That's you for money. Well, see, you should manage that check. I know $100 ain't nothing anymore. It's not. But you don't have any responsibility except for you. And I told you, learn from my mistakes. Pay yourself first. It ain't nothing but $10 that you're going to put aside for you that you ain't going to touch. That money's gone. Pay yourself first. Then have your fun money, but save something. You should not be broke every paycheck. If you have that mentality now, it's not going to change when you start making real money and go on your own. That's going to follow you. So I want my children to be better than me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that option. Actually, I was ready to leave. When I graduated at 17. When I graduated, I was ready to go because I wanted to do me 100%. But
me too.
At the end of the day, the whole reason I brought that topic up is I get tired of hearing how black people are always throwing kids out of 18. Now, do I think that's wrong? Yeah, because them kids ain't ready. They probably have no credit built up. At 18, you have no credit, so you got bad credit. No credit is equal to bad credit. You don't have anything to show any creditors that you have a pattern of paying anything off. So one good thing I think parents should charge a little something to be there, so they get used to paying bills. If you never paid nothing in your whole life, when you get out on your own and have to pay bills and their due dates, if you never paid a bill in your life, you're not going to know how to pay a bill. Just be real.
Yeah.
You might your parents do, but you ain't never done it. You know what I'm saying? So then I seen this guy on TikTok talking about how smart it is to not go straight from high school to college because your money is being gauged off of your parents' income versus your own. So go travel, go do whatever you want to, and then around 22, 23, go to school, and then now they're basing off your income. I said, well, that makes a lot of sense. I never thought about it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. But if my kid will go to school, he can go to school off me. I don't care about that. But the thing is, they're gonna be home again. We gotta have a plan. Are you going to school? Are you working? What we doing?
What are you gonna do?
Watch Netflix with your hand down your pants, chilling all day. That ain't happening.
Exactly. At all.
And
let me tell you something.
Two, you're not be running people in and out of my house, because I ain't allowed that when you was in high school with your friends. You're damn sure doing you're grown. You're not gonna bring everybody in and out of my house, because I don't want my house to be burglarized one day, because I don't know who you bringing over here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just you have to have some ground rules, but then you're gonna come up, well, I'm grown, I can do what I want to. But see, you grown, but you can't do what you want to in this house. That ain't how that works.
Exactly. Ooh, I don't know if. Let me tell you something. This exact same conversation that you're having right now, I swear, I had this conversation with my daughter at around 4:00 today, and it's crazy because even when I seen this topic, I didn't know what you meant by, when is it time to cut the cord? But everything that you just said was the exact same conversation that her and I had. And this is why. Kids get it twisted because they're being taught differently from what we were taught. And we don't understand it or relate to it because the way we grew up, we didn't have to have anybody to have this talk with us. Same as you said, I don't understand it because when I turned 18, I was living in a whole nother state on my own, in my own place, financially supporting and taking care of myself. Hours and hours away from my mother. So I don't know about having her to help me do stuff because I didn't put myself in a situation to depend upon her to do it because I didn't think I was supposed to. Maybe I should have, but that ain't what my goals were. Because I wanted to do things on my own. And I'm not saying that we're supposed to be mimicking how we grew up the way that these kids are taught today. But at the same time, we do got to have some damn ground rules. And I'm sick and tired of the people that's making it seem like we are wrong because we are holding our kids accountable, because I'm gonna hold mine accountable. I'm with the whole thing of, I'm not saying you just graduated today, get out of here. But what I am saying is that we got to have a plan. I was so disappointed in my daughter because I know that you got to continue to communicate with kids because, for one, they think we ain't been here before and we don't know what the hell we talking about. So they'll shoot you some stuff and feel like we ain't got to talk about that no more, like we done forget. I don't forget nothing, and I'm an overthinker. So if you ain't thinking about a plan, I'm thinking about one for you, and I'm mad and I'm thinking about it because I shouldn't be. Right. But we had a conversation months ago. And I have not been saying anything to her. I did exactly like you said. I've been watching how you manage your money. I've been seeing Amazon packages come, and I'm running through the door like Miss Celia on The Color Purple because I'm thinking it's for me, and it's never for me. It's for her. And I'm looking at Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these people bringing all this food, and I'm looking at her footing her own bill. But I'm looking at hairdos that costs money that I would have never been able to afford to pay for when I was her age. Like I'm looking at all this stuff. So I'm like, well, dang, like she afford to her. I think she's like, chill. I'm taking care of things. No, because you got to be saving because you need a plan. I'm not forcing you to go to college. I'm not forcing you to go to work for the top and be the top CEO of a company or none of that. But you are going to be forced to figure out what you want to do because you can't stay here forever. Right. And if you're not having a plan developed to get you there, we're going to have a problem because you can't stay with me forever. I'm not trying to put you out, but I ain't trying to let you stay either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to. We're not roommates.
What killed me, I was on this. I got into this. I hate social media arguments. I try so hard not to let myself get involved in those things because you end up meeting the troll and it never ends. But the topic was what is something that the older generation needs to hear, and the recurring theme was about kicking the generational curse was kicking your kids out of 18. That was the thing, and most of it was the younger generation talking about, well, that's they right because blah blah blah, and I'm like. See, the first thing y'all need to understand is your parents, y'all always talking about trauma and all the traumatic stuff that the parents did to you and how them passed down to us, to y'all. Let's look at the generational trauma that happened. Okay, so you're looking at if your parents was baby boomers like mine was, they're coming out of Jim Crow, civil rights, parents teaching them stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you come to my generation, the Generation X. We coming up with the crack generation. We're watching our parents and loved ones and upstanding citizens in the community being devastated by crack. We're latchkey kids. We were taught to get it by any means necessary, to grind. You only ask for help when you absolutely need it. You try to get on your own first. That's how I came up. So I have that same mindset with my kids. Like, you don't ever feel like you can't come home, because you always can. Don't ever feel you can't ask stuff, but you always can. But my first question to you is, what have you been doing? Mm-hmm. What got you to this point? I want you to be self-accountable. I want you to be able to hold yourself accountable first. I done talked to y'all about how I messed my credit up back in the day. I done talked to y'all about that. I told you how I was wasteful spending. I've told y'all, I've given y'all these PowerPoint lessons. I've given you this TED Talk. So there's no reason for you to replicate what I've done, because I'm telling you everything you shouldn't do.
Exactly.
Y'all have access to so much information out here now in this technology, internet age. Y'all have so much access to information that I wish I had, because my parents didn't talk to me about credit. Didn't know anything about credit till I got on my own in the military. And when I destroyed it, I was like, damn, okay, this is free shit. No, I'm being stupid. Right? So I'm like, when y'all go to college, when y'all sign up for your books and your class, there's gonna be a whole bunch of tables there, and maybe not no more, but back in the day it was giving y'all credit cards like it's nothing. Because they already know that you're 18, 19, you can order the hell out of pizzas and stuff because you don't want that dorm food. You can go out here and blow it. They know you're gonna go buy clothes and stuff, and they also know you have no damn way to pay that back. They know this.
Yes.
They have it works on you at young, because they know if they get you at 18, they'll have you for life. So I'm teaching these pitfalls, but then all I hear is, "Oh, you just generational curses." What you talking about?
Yes,
stop using that as an excuse not to listen.
That's what it is, an excuse. Yeah, not listen.
So you just want to shun my advice because you want to sit here talking. I'm talking old school and things are different. No, boo boo. Yep. The world, the sun has shone this world for many moons. This world ain't changed that much. Don't get it twisted. Credit's still the same. It's more now than ever to have your stuff together with that. If you have not watched the news, which y'all do, which apparently don't ever watch the news, inflation is at an all-time high. Do you even know what the hell inflation is? While you're talking, do you even know what it is, or do you know what that means to you? Do you understand about the things that are against you strictly because your color? Loans still won't be given to you because of what you look like. If they do give them to you, it's going to be a higher APR. You can pay a higher interest rate just because. So instead of talking about generational curses all the time, and I don't want to hear that old school way of thinking, everything in old school way of thinking, some things is just logical thoughts that test of time. I want you to be able to be self-sufficient. Again, you can always come home. If I have it to give to you, I will.
You got it. Exactly.
If you come here and squander your money, you're going to hear something from me. Just be prepared to hear a conversation first. You're going to hear questions.
Yeah. And these topics that we're talking about tonight, Dr. Real, is so crazy because they roll down like into like they fall in line right with each other. Because I kind of want to piggyback off of what we're saying too, to say this to any parent that's out there and you've now got caught up into this whole thing because now you feel like the world is against you or the school is against you. Take that mindset away, because everybody's situation is not your situation. So the way that you have to handle things in your household and the way that you have to make sure your kids are straight, everybody don't got those same kind of worries. Everybody don't have that same type of child. Everybody is not dealing with what you're dealing with. So we can't take what the world is doing and put ourselves in a boat and blame ourselves because we're thinking we're generational cursed or we're mean because we got to make sure our child have a plan and the rest of them don't, because they can sit up and live on mom and dad forever. And, it's just different situations for everything. So before you get caught up in the hype and feel like you got to move to the left because everybody else moving to the left and you just can't move to the right. Think about the whole picture. Do they really got the same situation that you got? You know, when it's time to go and take that child somewhere and do something, is it you doing it by yourself, or do they got some help and you don't? Or are you a single parent? Are they not single parent? Are you in a situation to do things? Everybody's situation is different, so you can get caught up in the hype if you want to. But I would advise for you to step back and look at your own personal situation, because you can't compare it to everybody else's, and everybody ain't got the same type of kids.
You see parents buying their kids a brand new Benz at 16. That's great, but even if I could afford that, I wouldn't do it. I want you to. I'm not gonna get you no hoopty, raggedy car, but I want to get you something to start out with, a starter car.
Yeah,
and
you gotta make sure you can manage it.
But you know what I'm saying? But that's you because you, because just because you can afford it, when you're supposed to do it.
Exactly.
Because what you're doing, what are you creating in this child?
Yep.
Then what are you creating in this child? Because you're going to create someone who feels entitled. And that's what I think the biggest problem that I've noticed. And I don't want to be the old man get off my lawn, but it's a lot of entitlement when I talk to the younger generation. They feel like they're old. And I tell my loved ones all the time, man, the world don't owe you nothing. Don't owe you a damn thing. Everything you get in life, you're going to earn it. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The world don't owe you crap. You get up every day, put your pants and shoes on, and go out and get your work on, or whatever you decide to do for that day, but the world don't owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get that. So I want you to understand what it feels like to buy your own outfit.
Yeah.
You will take care. Like, you go buy you some. If I buy you a pair of Jordans, you ain't gonna give a damn about the shoes. But if you buy them yourself,
never.
You're gonna be cleaning them.
You're gonna handle it.
You're gonna make sure you ain't stepping on you. You're gonna make sure you you're gonna have pride in it.
Yes.
All the time. All the time, I tell them how I bought my first pair of Run DMC Adidas when I was young. Because I've been working off the books since I was 10 years old.
Oh, I thought I had some time, man. You got me beat.
Doing all kinds of side jobs. I mean, I was living in North Carolina by Fort Bragg, so I should shine. I should clean the shoulders white walls, and I should do impressions for them and break yards and all kind of stuff, cut grass. You know what I'm saying? Because my mom, like, I'm gonna buy what you need. You need to go earn and get what you want. But that's the job of a parent. My job is to supply with 5 things: a shelter, water, food. You know what I'm saying? Clothing, and I can't think of the last one. But my job is to supply with the essentials. I knew I'm gonna buy Jordans. I knew she was gonna buy me them high Adidas at the time. They wasn't high as they are now, but then to her in the 80s they were high. So I was saying, I want the shoes. I'm gonna go ahead and grind and get it. And when I got them, I wore them damn shoes until them hoes was talking. Because I was proud of them.
You were proud.
They was falling apart, but I was proud of them shoes. I bought them with my very first check.
You did that.
When I bought my outfits, I was proud of my outfits because I bought them and paid for them.
And that's when you value it.
And that entitlement just is driving me crazy. You know, just like, well, this is my house. No, baby, this is me and your mama house.
Yes.
You live here. But I've seen a TikTok like that. There was a white kid showing off his house. And his mama did a response TikTok like, no, baby, this is me and your daddy house. We worked our ass off to get this house. And you on punishment for out here. I don't know, can't do the word she said, but she put him on punishment for out here acting like, trying to shame other people. And
yes.
I was impressed by that.
The entitlement goes deep. Just like Kim was saying, she said the millennials, they feel entitled. At least some of them do. We won't put all of them in the same category, but we can't. It's fair to say the majority does. And I feel so bad for them because, I don't know who created this content or material that's getting paid off this book that they're writing. But at the same time, you got to go by what's going on in your house. And if you want to make sure that you're living comfortably and everybody's getting along and there's some good energy and some good vibes in there, we're going to have a couple of discussions. So all that, you don't let me talk, you don't let me say nothing, it's okay to voice your opinion. But the fact that you think that your opinion is going to override everything and that's where we're going to stop and stand, Unfortunately, that's where you're wrong. I listen to you talk all day because it is freedom of speech and you have an opinion, but I have the last say so because I'm the decision maker. It's just what it is, and I think that's where it all it really gets twisted. And I fear for, if they're not open to just really understanding what reality look like. Stop paying attention to what these people telling you at school because you don't live with them and they're not going to be the ones helping you fend for what you need when it's time to leave. I'm not saying don't listen to your teacher, but at the same time, I'm saying you got to make sure you understand what's going on in the house where your mail come to.
Right.
You live over here. We got different
like what somebody else got going on.
Exactly.
You don't know what people went through to get what they had. So just because Jenny mama bought her a brand new pair of Uggs, you coming to me, you don't know what Jenny mama did to get them Uggs.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? And then maybe
you don't know the whole story.
Kind of right. You don't know that. So fucking parents, be appreciative of what you have. I guess this is the main thing I'm trying to preach. People need to be appreciative of what you have. And this sometimes I think to an extent we all do it because social media is bad for that. People start comparing their life to what they see on a screen. And I never forget this Facebook post this woman did to where she was showing all this fabulous stuff she was doing. But then when she walked away from the camera, she was sad as hell, but it was all fake.
It was all fake,
The trip was fake.
It goes away.
Fake. She was not happy, none of that, but it was all just for the social media. And people got all caught up in it. Stop comparing your life to what somebody else do.
Absolutely.
Respect your parents and understand their grind and stop with all this generational curse stuff and stop this lambasting black people for every doggone thing. I'm sick of that. Tell the older black people.
Sick of it. Absolutely.
Respect it.
Man, we can go on and on about this because I ain't lying. I don't know how he knew. I went through this today, but I was like, what? Every time he says, I'm like, wait a minute. What? I swear me and my daughter had the same conversation today. And there's probably a lot of parents out there that's, having to have this conversation. You're feeling like you have to defend yourself because it seems like the odds are against us because we may have grew up differently, but you are not alone. We can talk about this all day to make you feel better, to let you know that you're not alone. Because at the end of the day, we got to change the mindset of this generation because it's not what they think this is. And that goes on to our next topic too, because that's why a couple of people act. When I say don't compare your situation to other people's situations because it's not the same. We talked about Kanye a couple weeks ago. And I so happened to jump over there to Twitter and seen him on a live video just acting a damn fool. But let me tell you something. When I seen the video, when it first popped up, I knew he was really acting a fool, although I read the caption and what it said. It was saying how it was painting a picture of Kim, the Kardashians not allowing him to attend his daughter's birthday party, which was crazy. And then a few minutes later, I seen footage of him at the daughter's birthday party. But he was really recording this video and going on and on to say how he's been contacting everybody in the family. Nobody will let him know where the party is at. This is going to scar his daughter. And, she's going to hold this against him and he should be at this party. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to calm down for a little bit because I've talked about this a couple times already because he kind of pissed me off a little bit. I'm being honest because Kanye be doing the most. Mm-hmm. But what are did you see the video? What are your thoughts on that?
I seen where Travis Scott supposedly allegedly told him where the party was, and then he gonna say put him on blast. Like the man sent you a private message. Why are you gonna tell on the man? Boy, this is my thing with
he had said he been calling Tristan though, and Tristan wasn't responding. He didn't. Yeah, Tristan got his
situation, but I've been down this road to where you break up with somebody you got a kid with, and then for some reason I don't know why this happens a lot. All of a sudden, the child becomes and women, I love you, but none of y'all are one guilty of this. It becomes my child. So because we ain't together no more, now all of a sudden it ain't our child. Everything is my child. Well, I'm doing this for mine. No, boo-boo. This is our child. Just because we ain't together no more, just because we ain't happy together, just because we ain't making love no more, just because we ain't doing anything together as a family does not mean we are not the parents of that child. Now,
but listen, they stay across the street from each other.
True. Now,
Can you throw that in there?
Allegedly, they're supposed to be having separate parties. That's how this all started. He was being extra. Yes, he was being extra because that's how he is. But here's my concern for Kanye. I mean, this is what I tell a lot of people. Yeah, you get married to be together forever, right? That's the intention. Even then, you have to be very careful what you tell people, because my thing about him is everybody knows that he supposedly has mental issues. I think the man's bipolar. That's just me. Just his actions. He comes off like bipolar and manic. That's how he comes off to me. I don't want her to use that against him later on in the divorce proceedings. You see what I'm saying?
Use what again? They're already divorced.
The fact that he has mental issues.
But isn't that important? Because can he be with the kids by himself?
It is, but you don't want to use that as a weapon just because he has that. You see what I'm saying? That's not fair to him, because if he was able to be by that child while y'all married, what's the difference now that y'all not? That's my point. You knew that going in like that. Don't do that. Don't do anyone like that. Yes, make it a point he has that issue, but don't use it as a weapon. Don't weaponize the child. Just because y'all ain't happy no more, you can't stand them. And I really hate when people do that, because it happened to me. Don't weaponize your child to hurt the other person.
But we got to do this, Dr. Real. We got to stick to the point we're talking about Kanye West. And I get where you're coming from when you say don't use it as a weapon. But unfortunately, he is a weapon all in himself. He is ready to self-destruct. And it's like, I gotta handle you differently now that we're not married, because if they were with the Kardashians, is it fair to say that he's always monitored and he's making sure if he crazy, it's gonna be a nanny or 2 or 3 or somebody pop out to make sure the babies are okay. But now that I'm dealing with you in a separated situation and I'm trying not to keep you from the kids, I still gotta be real with, I'm afraid to what's going to happen to the kids. Like, I'm picturing you hanging them over the balcony like Michael Jackson did to the babies when, all that stuff happened. I don't know. But Kanye West, I don't think he is mentally prepared to have the babies come over to the house by themselves. I don't think he would intentionally hurt them. But I will say, I don't think mentally he's equipped to handle them without Kim or somebody there right with him. And the girlfriend he got now, I don't think she give a damn. I don't think she cares. I don't see, she don't seem stepmom ready. Not that she can't be, but I'm saying I don't think she's ready to get into all that with the Kardashians.
I don't think she's in that commitment level with that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's what they're going to be doing.
No, having fun. They're having fun right now. That's about all it is.
That's about all they're doing, and now it's not fun no more because he's showing his craziness. But I get what you're saying, Dr. Real. Like you saying, there are some women that do that. But when I saw Kanye with this video, all I could think of, because he kept pointing the finger at, this is another black man, or, not being able to see his child. And they know they can't do this to me. And like, they can't handle me this way. When I found that, when I began to dig a little deeper, that he was the one that made the suggestion that they have 2 separate parties. Mm-hmm. And with this whole thing we were talking about with kids and how everybody's household is different and all these things, is it fair to say that we have to accept sometimes when we're not together, there's going to be separate things? You don't have to throw the baby birthday party with me. You want to show that you are there as a father, you can throw your own party and still acknowledge the fact you're celebrating your child. We don't have to do it together. But again, when you come from maybe the celebrity lifestyle or some other household, you feel that you're supposed to do these things together. And he seemed like he mad about being kicked out the family. He kept calling on Tristan. I'm like, Tristan probably like, bro, I done had a whole baby out here. I'm already in trouble. Like, leave me out there. You calling me? He wasn't the person to call. But he did. He called him, and he was just really trying to get the address. It was really crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. But it goes into the other topic we have about the co-parenting.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't utilize it. Happens too much where the kid becomes a weapon because we're not together no more. That is still our child. I don't give a damn if you hate my guts. That has nothing to do with what we're doing to raise this kid, because at the end of the day, it's the kid that's going to suffer. It's not you and him. It's going to be that child is going to suffer. And then you're going to teach that child how to manipulate the parents, because now they see the kids ain't stupid. Kids are very smart. Oh, okay. So mom and daddy beefing. Now I know how to manipulate this thing for my benefit. Kids are smart. I really don't like seeing co-parenting. Should be, you know what, Cash and man, like, you know, I cheated on you, we broke up, so we're gonna make an arrangement, and this is how we're gonna do it for the child. I'm gonna go, we'll have our days to see it, we're gonna decide who get Christmas, we're gonna decide. I'm saying you can do all that stuff without even going to court. You if you too mature, and again, that was going to y'all have a mature relationship and remove your personal feelings and hurt and whatever else you got going on out of the way, and really focus on what's good for that child. That's the best co-parenting. But what you see is not that. What you see is that revenge, and I have something I know that's going to hurt you, especially if the father or the mother could be the mom, the dad can get them. You don't have any agreement. What most people don't know, if y'all don't have anything court written down, and I come pick up that child from you on Friday and don't bring them back, there ain't nothing you can say, because I can go to court on Monday and do the same thing that you could do. Most times, most men ain't gonna do that, but that is available. You don't have to. If you really want your child, you have to wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to my point is, to sum it all up for me, is again, the maturity level has to be there. And I know it's hard. Just speaking realistically, if I did you dirty, you know what I'm saying, and if you're not really an emotional mature person, you gonna know that if I love my daughter, not having access to her is gonna hurt me. It's gonna make you feel good for a minute, but it's gonna, that's gonna hurt me. But in the long run, you're really hurting the child. That's momentary to hurt for me, but you're hurting the child in the long run. That's a subject to my heart, because I hate to see that, because it happens. I see it on social media all the time. It happens way too much.
Yeah, it goes deep, and I think that what I've been learning is that when I look at people that I have friendships with, I look at the different stages. And I can say that I've experienced not being able to co-parent. And it is not really about, and I want to get into Kim's comment too, because that is the thing that most people think until you sometimes experience it and you're able to tell your story. Just like you're saying in most cases, Dr. Real, about the whole, if you don't have court documents or you don't have those things, a lot of those things play a factor in it. But I also know that if you are divorcing, the state of Texas, it's not sometimes that a woman is bitter because a man's on child support. It just means that that woman may have, the other people that's on the outside looking in may not have experienced a divorce before with a child involved, or may not know what goes into play with that. The state of Texas is going to put that father on child support when you get divorced. You really don't have your say-so in it to help that dad out. And really now it doesn't really help them out because it's strictly on the income. They're going to make sure that there's a child support order in place for visitation rights. You get a lot of people saying, well, she don't have to accept the child support, or she don't have to. Well, there's insurance involved, because now the judge want to know, well, who's going to file the insurance on the child? Who's going to pay this and who's going to pay that? And you have the say so to either say, I don't want to accept this amount of money. If y'all were to come to a mutual agreement and you ask him, because I've experienced this, that's why I'm speaking on it. I didn't have a choice when it came to put my ex-husband on child support. They put him on child support because we were married. The state of Texas did. What I did have a choice in was how much he would pay. He was already financially giving me money. And because he was giving me money, I asked him, are you comfortable with that amount? And he said, yes. That is the amount I asked for and I requested to the court, because he was already giving it to me. It didn't change the fact they were going to still put him on child support, because they were going to still put him on child support, state of Texas. But what began to change was they have a review, and they began to review this to figure out, is he paying? They don't get to pick and choose what they want to pay. It's really based on income and all those things. So it's really not about being bitter in a lot of cases. If you are married, he going on child support when you divorce. If you're single, maybe we could look at it from a standpoint of being bitter. But I want to speak for the ladies that are also willing to admit that, hell, call it what it is. If you didn't do a good job by picking the parent, I get a lot of people that I really see on social media, and they're the ones that actually kind of bash the ladies that are putting the child on child support, or they're not having a good co-parenting experience with the other person, because let's just call it what it is. You messed up. You picked the wrong guy. Y'all don't communicate properly, and you can't even communicate. Well, she picked the good one. Kudos to her. She picked the right one. He picked the right one. They have a real type of co-parenting relationship that works. And this other parent over here may have tried. The dad may have tried. But sometimes you need somebody to mediate that thing, because you have come to the conclusion that, guess what? I'm tired of running my blood pressure up. I'm tired of running yours up. We can't communicate. You don't think like me. We don't think the same. Here we are trying to parent a child together. I messed up. I can't take back the fact that you're my child's father. I'm your child's mother. But I can be honest with myself and say, this not working. We can't communicate. It ain't a bitterness about it. It's the facts. It's the truth. We need somebody to mediate this thing for us. So guess who's going to mediate it? Child support. So, it is. And I look at those people and I'm like, well, dang, she picked a good one. Good job. You can't possibly understand what I'm even going through, because you're not dealing with the type of man that I'm dealing with. Or he can't understand because they're not dealing with the type of woman that he's dealing with, vice versa. So it's a lot that goes with it when it comes to this whole co-parenting thing. So don't always think in a situation that person is bitter or angry. It could have been that person went over and beyond to try to really make the co-parenting work, and it just didn't work. And this is just what was the next step.
Yeah, like I say, it just goes back to that growth. I mean, eventually, sometimes you're just young, you have kids, and again, and it didn't end the way that either one of y'all wanted to, and it just goes back to emotional and emotional growth, mental growth. You gotta have that maturity. You might have responded wrong 9 years ago, and you can admit, you know what, I was wrong for not, inviting you over for the birthday party, because we only had one party, and I was wrong for not inviting you. I didn't invite you, not because I didn't want you there. I didn't invite you because I was resentful. That's why I didn't invite you. Just like,
it says that why does the state have to be involved? Can you come to an agreement? Y'all can't get a mediator yourselves? No, because when you're on chat, the reason is because you're no longer together. The child has to have a custodial parent, a non-custodial parent, or y'all have to be both y'all have to be something. And legally, this child has to be on some type of insurance. We're not talking about a situation to where it's a mother that's not going to be working and this child's going to go on the state government assistance or whatever. This means that somebody going to be paying out of their check for the benefits of this child. So somebody may be open to say, well, you can come, but somebody has to mediate that. Visitations are not mandatory. If you don't have in your divorce decree, you have to have a child support order. It's not optional. Trust me. I filed and did my own divorce and cried like a baby because I had to go down there 6 times because I kept messing up. My divorce decree, I had to have child support orders in there. And when they ask the questions, it makes sense when you're in the courtroom, because they're like, okay, so who's on the insurance and who's this and who's that? You got to have every piece of paper in that order. If you don't, guess what? The judge going to reschedule you. It took me forever to get divorced because my stuff was always wrong. So I could tell anybody what goes in the divorce decree when it comes to a divorce. But that's why, because they have to they're not concerned about y'all's feelings. They're concerned about the well-being of the child. And you have to have a decree. You have to have visitation rights in there. And visitation rights has to come with your divorce. It has to come from child support. They're interested in knowing the well-being of the child and who's going to be the custodial parent, who makes the most money, who's going to make sure that they can afford this. It's all in fairness. You can decide on your own, but I ain't never really seen it go down like that when you're married.
I mean, they're still going to charge you the man a percentage. You're not going to sit here and just take 50% of the check. I think it's 17.5%. They're only going to take a percentage because
there's things in place with the state.
Too. Yeah, it's thing like 17%, whatever.
Exactly.
But again, the other parent has to live too.
The other parent has to live, so it has to be discussed.
It has to live too. I mean, I feel like when you're single, you can go to an arbitrator and get a legal document done without going to
single.
To see the DA, to go to the child support agency to do all that. And guys,
not married.
Guys listening, you can get receipts to where you showing you paying her monthly until I go to child support court. But for the most part, them receipts don't mean a damn thing. You have them, you got proof, but that don't mean nothing because, like Kesha just said, true enough, you don't have no legal document showing anything. They don't give a damn. You have received 2 years you been paying her. All she got to say is you never paid her nothing. You know, you got signed receipts showing you paid her. All she got to go in and say you never gave her a dime, and then your behind gonna be in arrears.
Yep.
Even though you've been doing your job, they still gonna put you in arrears. So have your receipts anyway, just for your defense. But I'm telling you, it's not gonna matter when you go into court of law.
But you're always supposed to cover yourself. I mean, that's for men and women. You know, CYA. You know, you never know what the consequences will be, but typically it's a little different. You know, being divorced and versus single, like Kim is saying. I don't really know. I'm speaking freshly from if you were married, because that's a situation where you really don't have any control over it.
Story is, boys and girls, when you lay down with that Instagram model or you lay down with that man that's on your sofa on TikTok and you open your legs and you go diving in like Trey Songz, just make sure look at that person and say, damn, this could be my mother of my child or the father of my child.
Yeah.
So you have sex, even with a condom on, ain't nothing 100%. So just make sure you get it in that you're ready to receive that person to be in your life for the rest of your life.
Yeah. You know, I know we got to move on to our next subject, and I feel you when you say, Kim, that's not right. Why they automatically believe the female, and the answer to that question is typically because the female is always going to be the custodial parent. Now, on the flip side of this, you'll be surprised how many guys don't want that full responsibility. You know, you can have the option to go and be the custodial parent and put that woman on child support, but you don't find a lot of guys doing it because there's so much to come with it. We don't get a chance to say we can't do it or we can't do it when the child is in your house. The non-custodial parent is not spending as much time with that child. So they really usually don't even sign up for that. Some of them are now cool with just paying their money because all the extracurricular activity and driving to these games and drops off and taking people to work and doing this and cooking and all these daddies, they ain't really trying to do that. Some maybe they have the option to do it, but very slim. Most of them just want to just go ahead and cut that check because they're out there working. They feel like they're, I guess, a man if they're out there working and they doing their own thing. So that's why they listen to the mom, because usually she's the custodial parent. And if he was, they would listen to him.
Baby, just women just you can have baby don't make it don't mean you a mama.
Yeah. Well, no, that's true.
They don't mean you a mama. But I've seen a lot of bad mamas out here. They got custody, and they should never have a kid.
But where's the daddy then? If they don't got custody, why is the dad? Why he haven't stepped up and took the custody?
He ain't probably damn good either. It's too bad.
Because definitely, if she's a bad mom, it probably ain't too hard to prove it. But it's a lot that comes with it, y'all. So we got to kind of weigh it off both ways. Let's move on and talk about these Cowboys that them really, hurt a couple people's feelings and all this. We gotta get it in there. I know we're running out of time. We just got about a minute or so left. We may go over just a little bit, but we got to talk about it. So, are the Dallas Cowboys still America's favorite team?
I know where that came from, though. Where we got that moniker from, America's team, that came from an NFL films guy. His name is John Faceta, I think it is. He was doing a reel, and he named Dallas Cowboys America's team because they were more recognizable like movie stars and singers and entertainers. That's where that name came from. That name came from an NFL films legend spokesman. That's where it came from. We didn't name ourselves that. That came from that guy, and we just ran with it. Do I think we're America's team? I think we're America's most hated team. But if you really want to say America's team, I think that really belongs to the Patriots. You want to be 100 with it. It just ain't make sense. Patriot, America's team. They've been winning for 20 years. They ain't been winning. They ain't winning right now because Tom Brady gone, but they done won for 20 years going. So I don't even want that title no more because with that title brings massive hate. I don't even want that title no more.
It does bring hate.
All I know is we have 40 million viewers, though, for y'all Cowboy haters watching our game.
Let me put this on the board. 40 million.
14 million.
So, Dr. Real, you telling me this game that was not even the Super Bowl that went down with the 49ers and the Cowboys had 40 million people watching?
40 million. And I bet you about 39 million weren't even Cowboy fans. Y'all watching the hate. And then what kills me, Kesha, like Chris Brown said, y'all couldn't even get into the club. Y'all hate from the outside. Y'all couldn't even get into the playoffs.
You couldn't even get in.
What you talking about?
Oh my God. You know, it's a hurtful feeling. And I'm not going to I'm not going to hide behind no rocks or none of that, but I can say that we take it personally because we are the most hated team. When you already got to fight the refs, when you already got to fight, all this other stuff, and then you got to fight these people that's supposed to be watching these other teams that I don't even know the players because I don't watch others. I don't watch other people's team because I don't know them. And I don't know all the players. It doesn't feel the same. It's kind of like I'm cheating if I'm watching them. I'm just being honest. I don't know them, so it don't feel right. And I can't scream and say the stuff. It don't even make me emotional. So it's hurtful because it's everybody against us. And I do take it personal. I try to step away because I feel like ain't nobody hating on nobody else's team except for the Cowboys. And that's a lot of hurt and a lot of hate to have to carry when you are a true fan.
Cowboy fans out there, come on out the closet. It's all right. We don't want you. Matter of fact, you stay in the closet. But you know, y'all, that Stephen A. Smith is an undercover Cowboy fan. I promise you. That man be on ESPN talking about the Cowboys come out of his mouth more than his own name do.
Right.
Cowboys. Nah.
Haters that's what they are. But again, I'm not upset. I think that we do have some work to do. Just looking at the comments and looking at some of the people, how they, shared their thoughts of this. I can't say I agree with all of them, but we did have a lot of areas of opportunities, but now we got to just wait. And I'm going to still be a Cowboys fan when y'all see me again. It ain't going to change, but I'm just sick of the hate. Like, find somebody else to hate on. Like, when I look at the comments and I'm seeing people saying, I just want the Cowboys, or they call us Cowgirls or whatever. I want them to lose. Why? Exactly. Why do you even care? For what? What did they do to you? Who made you mad?
Probably what happened. We whooped their team or prevent their team from winning something, and they just got a residual anger sitting there. It's all right, boo-boo. It's good.
I'm sick of it.
Go have your Miller Lite, the official beer of the Cowboys. Go do that.
Exactly.
Go do that.
Sick of it. Anywho, I know we went over time. Hopefully, you guys, when y'all go back and rewatch, I'm going to read some of the comments. You can touch on any of the topics that we talked about tonight. We missed you guys. We really, really enjoyed this time. I want y'all to be on the lookout for the reunion that's coming up. We got the PowerTeam reunion. It's going to be coming up soon. If y'all remember some of the hosts that used to be on this show, we have not lost contact with them. They've actually, they stay in touch with us as well. And we're going to do a reunion. We're going to bring some of those guys back. If you remember King Leo, Passion, everything that started from the beginning, myself, Dr. Real, we're going to have them on the show. Our new hosts are going to be on the show. And it's going to be like a really, really, really good time. So y'all stay tuned for that. It's going to be February the 16th, I think is the date.
Yeah,
but
right.
We're going to actually be in the house on that Wednesday night between the hours 8 and 9 p.m. We're going to have the crew with us. So y'all just keep following us, rocking with us, and supporting us so that we can continue to spend the time with you guys that we love to spend with you. And y'all know what we always say, we ain't got to go home, but we definitely got to get the hell up out of here. And we'll see y'all on the first Wednesday of next month. Again, remember our hours of every first and third Wednesday now for us here on the Power Team for our show, myself and Dr. Real. So you guys be safe, and we will see you all next time. Peace.